strength advantage over the fatigued primary muscles in the succeeding compound phase. As Ray demonstrates, proceed immediately with zero rest time from an isolation exercise to a compound exercise. Taking more time than this will seriously compromise the effectiveness of this method. A delay of only 3 to 5 seconds will allow the fatigued muscle to regain up to 50% of its initial strength. Keep the following tips in mind. The number of repetitions should not be very high. More than 10 repetitions in each of the 2 consecutive sets could conceivably lead to a premature cardiorespiratory failure instead of a muscular failure. Never perform more than 2 consecutive pre-exhaustion superset cycles. Beginners will usually not require pre-exhaustion techniques. Intermediates and advanced bodybuilders can add forced and negative repetitions to either one or both of the exercises in the pre-exhaustion cycle. Don't get stuck on using pre-exhaustion or any other method exclusively. Using pre-exhaustion once a week for each body part is sufficient.
As your body adapts to increasing levels of training intensity and stress, higher levels of intensity will be required to further stimulate muscular growth. The tendency will be a desire to do more. This, however, is neither desirable nor possible. You can train hard or you can train long. You just can't do both. Sustained attempts at high-intensity training does little in the way of stimulating further growth. Instead, what results is a reduction of the body's recuperative abilities. All work performed past the point of maximum stimulation will be counterproductive. A routine that is intense enough to stimulate growth must also be short enough to allow growth to take place. If workouts and exercises continue to be added over and above the recommended schedule, your intensity will diminish, and so will your results. It is the intensity of your workout, rather than its duration, that determines your rate of muscular growth. So your immediate goal should be to reduce the time spent in training and to maximize your effort utilized in training.
Direct application of these high-intensity training principles will guarantee optimal progress. While it is true that each of us are unique as personalities, it is also true that we are physiologically alike, making our training requirements practically identical. Yes, there are those who will gain faster than others, owing to differences in existing levels of fitness and development, age, and in innate adaptability to exercise. The important point to remember here is that you will grow progressively larger and stronger muscles only when you train with increasing levels of intensity. This is universal and applies to all human beings. Intense training is purposeful behavior aimed at the goal of increasing muscular size and strength. In order to train as hard as possible, you must retain a clear image of your purpose. Once your goal is sharply but realistically defined, all that remains is carrying out your plan. Don't, however, worry about your individual potential. Potential is only the expression of a possibility, something that can be assessed accurately only in retrospect. In other words, you'll never know how good you might have become unless you try. So let's get with it. Here now is a basic 3-day routine meant to be performed every other day with a 2-day rest on weekends. It is a full body workout that can be used by athletes, bodybuilders, and anyone interested in increasing overall strength and fitness. As a basic routine designed to work all the major muscle groups, it can be used by even advanced trainees with positive results. And here now is a 4-day split routine that can be used by bodybuilders who have grown accustomed to the stresses of regular training. The scheme is to work half the body on Mondays and Thursdays, and the other half on Tuesdays and Fridays, with Wednesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays off for rest. We'll begin by looking at Mondays and Thursdays, and then continue by looking at Tuesdays and Fridays.
The leg extension is the only exercise that effectively isolates the frontal thighs. After this, immediately move on to perform squats. These should be performed in superset fashion, immediately after reaching positive failure on the preceding leg extensions. Only perform 2 cycles. Since squats involve the use of much heavier weights, proper caution should be exercised. Choose a weight which allows about 10 repetitions and stop at the point of positive failure. To round off your leg work, you should not forget to work the antagonistic muscles at the rear of your thighs. They are usually referred to as the hamstring muscles. Perform these leg curls for only 1 set to positive failure. To ensure balanced development over the entire leg, perform 2 to 3 sets of toe raises. This is an exercise where full extension and complete contraction is absolutely essential in order to adequately work the calves. The group worked in the progression of your routine will be the pectoral muscles of the chest. Dumbbell flies serve as a tool to pre-exhaust the muscles. Take this exercise to positive failure and immediately perform incline presses with either a barbell or dumbbell. Do 2 cycles of this and no more. The pre-exhaust phase has now allowed the pectoral muscles to continue to contract closer to 100% of their momentary ability. Do not allow more than 3 seconds between exercises. The last muscle to be worked on the Monday-Thursday schedule will be the triceps. Triceps extensions, when performed strictly, serve as an excellent